Boom, I'm live. Welcome. Good to have you all here. I was just scrambling a little bit because I wanted to edit a video ahead of this all starting. I'm a little bit croaky and stuff at the moment because I had a bit of a cold this week actually. I was in Malaysia this week for a work thing. I was in a training room the whole time. Unfortunately, it wasn't that interesting, but well, it was actually pretty interesting, but you know, it was work. So I didn't actually get to see all that much of Malaysia. I thought I might do a Malaysia video blog like I did for China and North Korea and whatnot, but that was not to be. I'm going to play the party vid in the background because I think that's a good vid. In fact, that was what I was actually editing just now. I discovered a feature on which actually I used for the editing of the party video, which I did, but I actually found when I was editing it, you can actually like just tap and mark in markers to make the edits like just drop in time with the music and a beat that you set. And that was really cool. And although I edit it so that everyone punches in when they're saying, hey, Okano TV, or Charlie in Japan, or Man in Japan, or Nax Snacks, or I'm going to Tony Gaijin, or that is Notes of Nomads, or I'm going to get in trouble, Timothy Simmons, something like that. That is Gaijin Jin Vlog. That is from Atomic Bomb or Bomb Arrow, and that's where those guys are from. And he says Charlie in Japan, but I couldn't find that. That was Tsunami Connor. That is Deep in Japan and Jake Edelstein. I can do this all night. See, I know them all. That's Atomic Boy X. There's a couple that I still don't know. Oh, that is Mackie TV JP. Oh, and that's Merry Madness. I can just keep doing this, can't I? Ayano TV, that is cool. That is Yuichi Tubo, of course. I only got 70. There were like 200 people at the party, but these are the people that I caught at the entrance. So that was cool. That's a guy that I don't know. If you know that guy, tell me who that guy is who was on just now, because I couldn't catch his name. Hey, and that's right, Andrew Higgins, you were in there as well. Amber, thank you for the awesome. So there you go, for my 500th video. I have uploaded more than 500 videos in my time, but I've actually deleted a bunch of unlisted videos and stuff which I've never made public. So based on that, this is going to count on my video list as my 500th video today. And thank you, Amber, for being the thumbnail maker for this. This is an awesome. People were just talking before in the comments before about how much of an awesome thumbnail this is, and that was made first ever submitted thumbnail by Amber, so that is awesome. I'm using VLC Player so that this can loop, but anyway, so what I was talking about in the beginning was squirrel. I get distracted. No, I don't get offended by that, Kathy. Yes, is that the when I was editing, when I was just testing it out, it was kind of funny when I had a clip in time with the music of just when the camera's coming on for each person, and each person's slightly confused about whether it's a photo or a video, and I'm telling them go, or there's like the camera's out of focus and I'm waiting for it to get in focus and it's frustrating. It's kind of funny. Every single one. Reina is her name, and Reina I actually had a very brief. She managed to impress me in like 30 seconds. I mean, she's already kind of. She's impressive. Obviously, you know, Deep in Japan is an awesome channel, but yeah, she kind of took me aback actually in my very short conversation with her at the party. She is awesome, Reina from Deep in Japan. But anyway, yeah, so I discovered that if you just punch it in on the beats, like as people are just like confused, and I'm saying go, and they're like what, and you do that for every single one, it's really, really cool. So if I was just matching that with my old track Gaijin Ghetto, which I still like. It's a cool beat that I kind of picked up from a Norman Cook hook. And so I actually just did a recut. It just took me 20 minutes to do, and it's really cool. So that's going to go up probably on Friday. I'm going to make that a Friday night Gaijin video, so that's going to be pretty cool. Got an awesome crowd in here tonight. And yeah, I've been missing the news all of this week, so I'm going to talk about other stuff actually, if that's okay. I mean, we can lead into this stuff. I want to say hello to everybody. But yes, the other thing is that I have edited the final 2 episodes. I've got one bonus episode. So basically, there are only 6 episodes of Ace Producer versus Geek YouTuber. There aren't that many views on the vids. I guess people who want to see Japan vids aren't that interested in seeing vids about like the TV industry and YouTube creativity. But I actually think this is like one of my best series. And I admit the first episode was a bit waffly when we were coming up with the title, and it was a bit long. But you know, Ace drops some serious knowledge in these videos. Plus, it's just fun. And this is a guy who knows me from a long time back. And so you know, it's actually the mood is quite loose. And there are actually only 6 episodes. And so the next two more weeks, I think it is 2 more weeks now. But I actually there was one cut in between 2 of the episodes that we cut up there, where we both, in extremely foul language, talked casually about the significance of the YouTube space. And you know, I was complaining about how they give us great stuff, but I wish they'd just let us use our own cameras and stuff like that. Because with all the lighting in the studio, you can get just as good quality, but it's about that they want us to use production quality stuff, which is what they give us. But the production quality stuff is hard to use, and it took me in that night, out of our 3-hour booking, 1 hour 40 minutes to set up, whereas I could have been going in 5 minutes if I just used my own camera. So I was complaining a little bit about that, and I was swearing a lot, and he was swearing a lot about cat videos and the direction of YouTube. We pulled it together into kind of a chat about, you know, get it done with what you've got. It doesn't really go anywhere, but it's a really funny kind of side conversation with me standing off the camera half the time, that I thought, well, I can't let that go to waste. I don't know if, given that we're kind of talking a lot of crap directly about YouTube in the YouTube space, I'm not sure if it's actually going to get... It'll be very interesting. I'm not sure if I should risk submitting it for approval, but I think I will. I think I will, because it's fun and it's a nice way to sign off that series. And I'm going to get Ace is going to be back here, and I might even get in his next series of What Really Matters, that he's going to be back here and do more episodes in Japan. Oh man, there's so many awesome people, and there's a lot of new people here tonight, which is awesome to see. And of course I see right there that Phoenix 787 just liked the video, because I can see that on my notifications on my iPhone, and that is awesome. Thank you very much, sir. I'm talking kind of fast tonight. You know what, I'm just going to go and say hello to everyone, because there are too many people. So yes, we got Ben Duncan. By the way, big congrats to Ben Duncan, who just got accepted into a Japanese language school in Shionkubo, which is of course the Koreatown in Tokyo, which is good, because it means you're not going to have so many of the white man speaking English to you in the breaks. The downside is that you may pick up more Korean than Japanese, but you know, that's all good, isn't it? So anyway, big congrats to that. It's good that and yeah, man, you're gonna be in town, so gotta have some brewskis. Or actually, I don't like the word brewskis, because Americans say it. It reminds me of Budweiser's for some reason, and it makes me think of bad beer. But you know, hang out, we can have good Japanese beer at some time. But very, very much congratulations on getting into the language school in Shionkubo. Good to see you, Lucas Maso, Mikey Chen. Gonna do this very rough and fast. Benjamin Harris. Who else is in here? Kantensai Pozime. Up indeed. Kantensai Nonbiristo, thank you for the like of my track, which if I've got time I'm going to play at the end of this tonight. Yeah, I really liked my latest one. I tried a few different things. Who else we got here? Robert 1967 Canada, awesome to see you. Temiko, yes, Temi, good to see you from the party. Another fellow Kiwi, good to see you. Good to see some more Kiwis in there. Kang and Kodos, good to see you. Sean Bro, I saw New Zealand Maori down there. Rika, another ferry, great to see you. Patrick Plants, nice to see. That's a new username that I'm not that familiar with. Renee Hauptmann, great to see you. We are ready for the show indeed. Andrew Higgins, great to see you. Say hello if you're in there. I'm going to shout you out. Englandese, great to see you as always. Mekon, that's a new name. Mekon, welcome to the show. Good to have you on board. Mr. Cordy Chip, always good to see you. Yeah, the music was too loud. Oh, well, the music video. Well, okay, so with the party video, the thing is that the background noise was so crazy you couldn't hear what anyone was saying anyway. So I figured you might as well just put music over it, since I was beat matching it. That's what I did with that. And the remix video that I'm making right now, the music is even louder. Sorry. One thing though, I did go back, and right now, if you go back to that video right now, every clip has a linked annotation, plus I've got all the links in the video for information, plus I've got credits on the video for every channel that I know that I featured, and there's about 5 or 6 channels there that I couldn't identify that I would like some help with. I know all of these ones at the moment, but yes, so the music thing, the sound thing, yeah, I mean, if I had a proper mic set up there, I was trying to catch people as they're coming in, but not hold people up too much, so it was kind of tough. Oh, pardon me. Bryce Cafarian, awesome to see you, Bryce Cafarian. Good to see you. Who else we got here? Barringer. Lots of people. Christian Hugo. I think that's a new one. Do I think that the quality of Vice's videos are taking a nosedive? I think Vice News. I subscribe to Vice News, and they've just uploaded some more videos recently on the Syrian conflict. I think those are okay. I mean, Vice in general, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's hit and miss, isn't it? But that's a good question there. I will probably might rock into that a bit later into the show. Kran, awesome to see you. Jason's All Sumo channel, great to see you there. But yes, a big first day, of course, because the Yokozuna, Hakuho, how long has it been since he's lost on the first day? It's been a long time. Inzen Maori, cheer bro, good to see you. Inzen Maori. Indeed, nice to see some Kiwis in the mix there. Yasashi89, awesome. Make a twerk of it. I will take that under advisement, and I will give that the serious consideration that recommendation is due. What else we got here? Venomania, good to see you, and indeed great to see you. Oh, so you can see me going live now. Awesome. Hey Venomania, it's awesome to have you here joining us for the first time. And same, the Crazy Brit, it's awesome. Also, you guys weren't getting notifications before. Well, I'm here and you're welcome to join me anytime, so it's great to have you guys all on board. And yeah, don't forget, drop in a hello. Let me know that you're watching it, especially if I see a new name like Key in Japan that I don't recognize. I will shout you out and say hello if I catch it. Anyway, I'm looking straight at a preview screen of this at the moment, so I should be able to not miss it. So yes, in fact, Timiko's got a thing there saying, what are you saying there? You had to read up on the earthquake rating in Japan users after the earthquake yesterday. You were confused why people are calling it a 4. Oh, I love this topic. In fact, everyone here knows I like to talk about this topic, but I'm going to give you, given that I'm in a fast talking New Zealand mode at the moment, I'm going to tell you what it is. Magnitude means nothing. Magnitude is a bomb going off. It just tells you how big the bomb was, but how much you feel the bomb depends on how close you were to it, what's between you and the bomb, you know, whether it's rocky soil or sandy soil or whatever. Andrea, my boy, great to see you. And so I think it's a redundant metric, basically, right? So the Japanese shaking scale, it measures actual shaking. Magnitude doesn't tell you anything about how much stuff shakes. So it was a magnitude 5.4 the other day. But, you know, the Christchurch earthquake was a magnitude 5.4, but it was so shallow that it caused, you know, the whole city to shake apart. You know, whereas sometimes you have magnitude 6, but it's so deep underground that you hardly feel it. So what the shake scale is 1 is almost indetectable. It's noticeable if you're, like, really on your game. Well, now watch now because I'm curious, because you're in the comments. That's right, that's an excellent reason for everyone to go and watch Phoenix 787. 1 is barely detectable, 2 is like you might detect it if you're sitting down like this, you know, 3 is a normal tremor like what you'd feel in New Zealand or Wellington if you're from that area. If you're from Auckland, you probably haven't felt a real tremor before. Not scary, just a tremor. Oh, it's an earthquake. 4 is kind of scary. 4 is like lots of noise, it'll make a rattling noise, stuff might look like it's going to fall over, but basically no damage. And then you get to 5. There's a lower 5 and an upper 5. A lower 5 is when you get into the damage zone. After 5, basically lower 5 will damage like old buildings or really rickety buildings. It'll make stuff fall off like shelves and convenience stores and stuff like that. Upper 5 will do minor damage to strong houses and will possibly cause serious damage to old places. Then you get lower 6, upper 6. That'll cause damage to pretty much anything, and 7 will damage anything. And you know, the big quake in 2011, that was a 7. The quake we had was a 4 the other day, and that isn't officially scary. But you look at the map, it's got little numbers all over it, and that tells you in each location exactly how it felt in each location. So you're not, you know, in New Zealand when they had this earthquake in Christchurch, and there are people saying that my cat was jumping up and down in Nelson, and that's the only way you can tell how big the quake was in Nelson. Whereas in Japan, you actually have a number for it, and that's why it is awesome. And Japan rocks. Okay, into the topics. Great to see so many awesome people there in the comments. Hey, so Key in Japan, you are starting that channel. You'll be putting up videos soon. Really? Well, you better do that. You better not be lying, because right now I am going to your channel, and boom, look at that, 0 subscribers. You now have 1 subscriber. So don't let me down on that, right? In fact, can you see there? Subscribed. I just subscribed to you, Key in Japan, so go make videos and don't let me down. Wildfire 777, great to see it. Was a Shindo 4 in Tokyo? Yes, it was, which was indeed, it was very, very scary. In 2011, it was a magnitude 9, but it was a shake scale 7, and 7 is the top of the shake scale. It's as big as it gets. So yeah, it was a magnitude 9, but it was like 500 kilometers offshore, and you know, that doesn't have anything to do with how much you feel the shake. So this is the point. Japan has a shake scale. That's what Shindo means. It literally means level of shake. And it's totally different from what the magnitude is. Hey Christine in Japan, it is good to see you there. Ba-boom. That's right, I've been committed to YouTube, Key, that's right. That's right, good, I'm glad that you won't let me down. Hey Christine in Japan, awesome to see you. Patrick Plants, good to see you. Your first big earthquake in Guam. I didn't realize that they had earthquakes in Guam. I really wish I got all 200 people in the video, but I got a pretty good number in the video there, so that was pretty awesome. And let's get into the topic. So yes, this is the first topic I've got in the middle here. I was on an airplane, Malaysia Airlines. I fly Malaysian Airlines because YOLO. And yeah, no problem with that. I actually tweeted out what the movie guide was from the airplane, and based on recommendations, I went in and I watched 3 movies. Well, I basically watched 2 movies on the way there and 1 movie on the way back. It was an overnight flight, and I was heavily drugged on the flight back. On the flight there, I watched, first I watched Inside Head. In Japanese it's called Inside Head. Is that the title in English? Inside Out. Okay, it's called Inside Head in Japanese. Inside Out, I watched that first. It was good. I liked it. I mean, it was a bit of a nothing story, but the way it was portrayed and told, I thought was pretty effective actually, and I enjoyed it more than I was expecting, so I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was good. It was good. It was something I would show my son. And it was interesting. You could see some, not that I've taken psychology because I'm not nuts, but you know, you could see some psychological theory and all that sort of stuff, and it was pretty good actually. I was pleasantly surprised. Then I watched, where is it? Mad Max Fury Road. I watched that as my second movie. I'm not wired, although I have been taking, geez. Oh, I should tell you, I'll tell you about the drugs I'm on in a minute. So yes, oh, Nax for Snacks, awesome to see you. And you're in the background, dude. I got you in there, Nax for Snacks. You are featured. Yes, Ben Duncan. It's called Inside Head, and I know what you're thinking. And stop it, behave. Why do I have to tell you behave every single episode? It's like a thing. There's Nax for Snacks. That was Nax for Snacks. You're on, dude. See, it's good. Aren't you glad that you joined? Mad Max Fury Road. I watched it. I fell asleep. I woke up again. I watched some more. I don't know. I mean, visually, you know, I could watch a 5-minute highlight reel of Mad Max and think it was like the awesomest thing ever. But you know, to watch that for like 2 hours like that, every time Reina from Deep in Japan is on, I kind of get out of the way so that she comes on because yes, reasons. So yes, with Mad Max, I don't know, visually it's cool, but you know, it's just like another step beyond Thunderdome and so on. It's kind of cool, and it's kind of like about 2 hours of that is a bit too much. Whereas honestly, I never watched. It wasn't until like 2 years ago that I actually watched the original Mad Max with Mel Gibson. And you go back and watch that, and the thing is, it wasn't visually as spectacular or crazy or anything like that, but it's one of the most like Clockwork Orange, like vicious movies I've ever seen. You know, to me, none of these other Mad Max movies have ever lived up to the original Mad Max. So I don't know. It was okay. Honestly, I give it like a 2.5. I was disappointed. I guess it was a little bit too hyped. On the way back, I watched. It's funny actually. On the way back, I wanted to sleep, so I thought I'd watch a movie that was crap and that might give me a few yucks before I go to sleep. Which was, it might not even be on here. It's The Internship, which is about, oh geez, what's his name again? The guy who always works with Ben Stiller, who's acting as a Google intern. And again, I was expecting like a 1-star movie, and expecting that. I got enough laughs out of it that I watched it all the way through. I sacrificed some hours sleep for it, and I enjoyed it. But I enjoyed it because I was expecting it to be completely crap. So I would say that was I give it a 3.5. I give it a better rating then I would. By the way, that's an interesting way to come on, James O'Hara, but good to have you here nonetheless. Damaster, excellent to see you. Welcome, good on you for joining. So yeah, I actually saw The Internship, and it was kind of crap, but it had its funny moments. So yeah, you know, 3 movies I give. So I call it Inside Head because that's what it's been promoted as in Japan, but it's Inside Out, I give a 4. Mad Max, I give it 2.5, and Inside Head, I actually give it 3.5, which is kind of crazy. And Bryce Kafira, maybe you're right about Clockwork Orange, actually. Well, this is where I think, you know, actually Mad Max has lasted a lot better. So there you go, and that's right, actually, no expectations are definitely the best. I think I have to keep my voice down right now, so I'm going to talk a little bit more quietly. But anyway, that was the movies that I saw on the plane. This was, someone tweeted me that they're starting a new channel. They're basically a dude talking with this girl, Nami, and Nami has lived overseas for a long time, and she's become very kikokushijo, she's become very returny Japanese, and he's talking with her about Japanese society and about the things that she does not like about Japanese society, including like how naive and trusting Japanese people are in this first episode. And I'm going to be quiet, but I will keep talking. And yeah, it was our first video. He started a new series. He said, "Hey, can you watch it and tell me what you think?" I watched it. I thought it's interesting. It's watchable. So I tweeted it. I'm featuring it now. Go support it. It's a new channel. The Nami Does Not Care show. I'm interested to see what else they come up with in terms of her actual opinions. Yeah, well, I mean, he actually does a very big deal about introducing the videos, being that these are kind of antisocial opinions, and they are, and I don't really endorse them, frankly. I don't know what I think of Nami, but it certainly is an interesting conversation, so it's worth going and watching. Hey, Hemmingford Grey 62, good to see you. But yes, so I'm a little bit paranoid because, yes, I have to be careful of noise levels outside. I was going to talk about the video. I've been talking about the video. The video is playing there right now, so that's there. Go and check it out if you haven't watched it yet. And even if you have watched it, make sure that you watch it now, because it's got all the linked annotations in the video information, and subscribe to every channel that is featured on that. There are 70 channels, and a lot of them are quite small, so go and do that. And Kubrick didn't actually ban it. I think it was banned in Britain for the specific singing in the rain scene. And he was very upset about that, because he said, you take a movie, you take a Shakespearean play like King Lear, where the father is tortured. King Lear himself has his eyes taken out by his son, and you talk about extreme violence. He kind of said Shakespeare was just as violent as me, but he still got banned, and it took a long time for that to come out. That's right, he wasn't happy with it. So yes, Ambel, don't troll me. Don't troll me. You'll make me paranoid about noise stuff. This is interesting. This thing about here is a person trying really, really hard to make herself. Oh, which reminds me of another thing I'm going to talk about with the party. Remind me to come back to the party thing, because ideas for next year. I've had some really interesting conversations which I have to put pen to paper about. Hence, I have this. Nicole Arbour, not Ann Arbour, why would I say Ann Arbour? It's Nicole Arbour, this Canadian lady with like a Jenna Marbles thing. She's trying to be the new Jenna Marbles. I mean, Jenna Marbles, I have to be honest, I really like Jenna Marbles, but she's kind of gone a bit too mellow lately. I mean, given the caricature that she was already, that she was in the beginning. She seems really kind of mellow and normal and boring lately. Is that not why? James O'Hare, is the aversion therapy is the reason? Well, the singing in the rain scene, it's a rape scene, right? I thought that was the reason. Anyway, this lady, Nicole Arbour, so she is trying very, very hard to get lots of attention at the moment, and she's set up a new YouTube channel. And first, she's kind of done the most outrageous video of all time, and she did a fat shaming video, and then the story goes that her video was taken down after being flagged by lots of angry obese people, and then her channel was taken down. Although the other story that I've heard about that since then is that she took down her own channel and then released the story that her channel was taken down by YouTube simply for the attention. Whatever it is, she's featured on BBC, CNN, it has gone viral. And it's interesting. I mean, the videos are good, they're well produced. I get the feeling this is all being very managed. Hey, Dina81, I don't know if they're dating Matt Santoro or not, but good to have you along, Dina81. I actually like her videos. I think that they're fun, they're zippy, they're fun to watch, but at the same time, I don't like people who lie and deceive in order to boost their popularity. I mean, that gets into the psychopathic realm of YouTube, which is a very, very big part of YouTube, I'm afraid. Has a Canadian said sorry yet? I don't know. I'm sure she says sorry probably 10 times a day. But yeah, anyway, her channel is getting very big. She's getting a lot of attention. Her videos are actually quite good, and I really hope that she didn't take down her channel herself as a publicity stunt to generate more drama. But anyway, Ben Duncan does not like Jenna Marbles, nor does she like Nicole Arbour. Well, for me, I like the ghetto-y nature of it anyway, so yeah, and none of the material's really that original, and the fact that she's complaining about censorship of comedians and so on is a little bit like, who the hell are you? is my kind of response to that. But man, it's an interesting video, it's an interesting topic, and interesting to see that most of you guys don't really care about her. Although, hey, she's Canadian, so that's something. She's good with me. I don't have a lot of topics this week. I totally missed the floods. I've got a thing about the floods, but I really don't know what's going on with the floods because I totally missed them. I was in Malaysia doing training in karaoke and ruining my voice. The new iPhone is out. I actually went and reserved a new iPhone 6s today, but not for me because I'm still in the doghouse for losing my iPhone 6 Plus last year on a Malaysian Airlines flight. Now that I remember it, yes, that's right, Malaysia. Well, and I came back, I mean, like, that's a win as far as I'm concerned. If I can get off a Malaysian Airlines flight and only my phone is missing, I'm still winning. But as a result of losing of the iPhone 6 Plus missing incident from last year, I'm still not allowed to update my phone, so I'm still with my 6, and that's okay. But my wife is on a 4S. She wants a new phone, so we just went and booked her a 6S today, which is pretty much the same as a 6, and I don't really see a lot to attract me to buying a new iPhone based on what I've seen. I missed the whole thing and came back and caught it up later, the news about the features. It is interesting that it does have 4K video and the camera is better, although frankly what I really want to see them do is make the front-facing camera and the mic control on the front. I mean, I'm a YouTuber, I want all the front-facing stuff to be better. So, you know, I don't see anything there that compelling that would make me really want a 6S anyway, although my wife's going to get one, so I'm going to get to have a look at one at least. But and the 4K thing is probably the most interesting thing, just for the fact it will let you upload like crazy high quality videos onto YouTube, even if you're just doing it in HD. So that's kind of cool. But apart from that, I don't really feel that bad about not being able to get this particular one. I'll be looking up for the iPhone 7, and I'm probably going to upgrade because I'm so like committed to the iOS ecosystem with apps and stuff at the moment. I can't really see myself going to Android unless there's something super special. Who is that guy, by the way? It's a German Lolita cross-dressing guy. I think Victor knows him, but I think he's from the I don't know, but I don't know who that guy is. It frustrates me. I searched, I couldn't find anything. If anyone knows who that cross-dressing German guy is, really tall, let me know. Apparently some people saw him and thought at first that he was me. It's all your photoshops are making people imagine crazy stuff about me. I think that's it. Party was awesome, by the way. Glad to see people are still talking about all that sort of stuff. Yeah, 4S to 6, and that was usual. My wife is going from 4S to 6S, so it's gonna be even crazy for her. And the thing is, I think it has been improved, but it hasn't been improved that much. I really want a front-facing camera, frankly, as good as the back-facing camera. That's the kind of change I want to see. I like that face mask, Christine, in Japan. I need one of those at the moment. As you can hear, Busan Kevin, awesome to see you are online and watching. And you're moving from a 5S, so there you go. So he's getting a new one as well. Well, maybe I guess we're going to see from Busan Kevin how much the front-facing camera. I assume you use a front-facing camera, Kevin. You can see how much the quality improves. It is meant to be better, at least. Bai McNeil is with us. Man, everybody's here. This is like an all-stars show tonight. Well, this is my 500th video, so thank you all for joining. Yeah, why not make it a party? It's not a lot of news stories this week. I've got this one from the Nikkei Asian Review, Seeking Brain Gain. There's a discussion about having skilled work visas being now eligible for, when I first got here, they were 1 year, and then they made them 3 years, and now lately they're even offering 5-year visas, and now they're talking about increasing them even to 8 years. If you're talking about 8-year visas, though, I really don't know why you don't just talk about increasing the number of permanent residents. No, that was not me in the dress, by the way, Amber, just to be completely clear about that. Yeah, you are front-facing Kevin. Indeed. So with this, anyway, they are considering, and as I've always said, this is one of the great things about Japanese politics, not really having anything to do with lawmaking or policy making. This is all decided by faceless bureaucrats who, you know, you can never run an election on increasing the length of visa stays for foreigners, right? But in Japan, it happens because it's the Ministry of Justice bureaucrats who decide on this, and they decide it based on national strategic interests and not on hysterical, crazy rednecks or Donald Trump. And that's why Japan actually has a surprisingly open immigration. Well, open on the one hand that it's increasing the number of foreigners and it's increasing the ease of tourist visas and whatnot. Not open, of course, in respect of refugee visas, which is a big topic of discussion at the moment. And you know, I'm even having some discussion at the moment over on one of my Japanese vids about the refugee thing. And people saying, well, you know, we don't want unskilled people coming to Japan as refugees. But you know, I think people like that, thank you, Lokahama, for the like. I think people who are talking like that are really confusing immigrants with refugees. And again, I've mentioned this on my show last week. I have some refugee stock myself. You know, I wouldn't be in New Zealand. I wouldn't be from New Zealand if it weren't for the fact, well, my New Zealand ancestors arrived there as refugees, and they left because if they stayed where they were, they would have been killed. for who they were, and that's what these people are. And it's the world kind of did agree when they formed the UNHCR and the United Nations that when you have people in the situation, that should be a shared burden of sheltering and looking after these people. It's not to say that those people don't have to integrate into the societies that they arrive in and so on, and that they don't have to follow the rules or whatever. But in terms of just a basic, humanity, making sure that when people cannot be safe in their own countries, that they're given safe haven in other countries. I've said this before, and I think it is a no-brainer. I mean, of course, at the moment, there is a question at the moment, what percentage of the people going into Germany at the moment really are genuine refugees and what are not, and of course the numbers are so overwhelming, and what about all the risks, what about all the processing and so on. But you have to still say, to me, this is exactly like people leaving Syria or Afghanistan at the moment is like Jews leaving Eastern Europe in World War II. And Western countries, remember Britain, was interning Jews, German Jews. Anyone who escaped from Eastern Europe and made it to Britain, where they should have been safe and welcome, were put on ships and sent to the desert in Australia and put in internment camps because they were perceived security risks as being pro-Nazis. It was crazy. A lot of those immigrants, those people who left Eastern Europe, went to America, went to Australia, and they've been the backbone of the economies and the societies of those countries. Western Europe has actually benefited a lot by refugees from Eastern Europe, and now we're having this from Syria. I mean, there's an opportunity, and I think there's a basic human obligation around that. But anyway, that's a digression. That's on the refugee thing. But you can see the Japanese, for those of you who want to come and work in Japan, take heart. The Japanese government is looking at ways to increase the numbers of not only the numbers of foreign workers and foreign work visas. They're making it easier to come and work in Japan, but they're also making the conditions of coming here better, which is good for all of you guys who want to come here and work. So that is pretty awesome. And Mr. Sang, good to see you. I think Japan does have some obligations to take refugees. It doesn't have to take a quota, but it is required to recognize and give shelter to refugees. But it only recognizes, like last year, 5 out of 11,000 applications. Which some say is failing to meet its UN obligation. So I think you're right, Mr. Sang, there. That's the discussion. Yeah, you've got a Samsung. That's interesting. Amber's got a Samsung Tab. I had a Samsung Galaxy, and I really, really, really didn't like it, and it really put me off Samsung. Although the Samsung Note with the curvy edges, it does look cool to me, but I got kind of put off Samsung products by having that. There's a good article here by Japanista. My man Kanto Kitsune, he runs that. He's on here in the comments sometimes. He's a good dude, and he runs. And indeed, there's actually Sub Tokyo Alex. There's a few YouTubers who are involved in running the site Japanista. It is an awesome site. It's competing up there with Rocket News and Tsunago Japan, a few other good sites. But at the moment, they're just dumping so much information on the site to make it like a go-to site for all sorts of information about Japan. And they've got a good thing here at the moment, introducing the insurance and health insurance systems, pension systems, employment. This is really, really good information, actually. A lot of the stuff there is kind of light, but this is actually quite heavy. It's got sources and stuff like that. So a good site to go to and go and check out. The healthcare and social security system in Japan, I think, is great. it's looked after me well. 4 gestures that are difficult for Japanese people to understand. This, words, Japanese don't get that. That's very, very true. What else we got here? This is based on common in animation, so I guess you've got to zoom in on this. So this, the speech marks, that's right. 背中に唾をつけて肩を触る. I actually don't get that one myself. What's licking someone's back? I don't get that one, actually. Crossing fingers, they don't get crossing fingers. That's I guess I get that, And the I'm watching you. I don't know. I guess that what's that Ben Stiller Robert De Niro movie where he plays the spy? It wasn't that big in Japan, so that could be the reason. But anyway, some Western gestures that Japanese don't get. Don't use those gestures. Don't use metaphors. Don't use proverbs when speaking in English, because no one will understand you. You're not being clever anymore. 10 drinking districts in Tokyo. The important stuff. This is a good list. This when I posted this. This is from Rocket News. A lot of people endorsed this list, so here you go. I haven't actually been to all of these lists either. Beneath the train tracks of Koenji Station, actually all around Koenji is an awesome kind of, it's a student town, bit of a hipster neighborhood, and it is an awesome, drinking neighborhood, or going out just izakaya neighborhood, so that is true. Ebiso Yokocho, Ebiso is pretty good, that is true. They've got a lot of drinking places around there. Ningyocho, Amazaki Yokocho, I haven't been there. But you know what, they've actually got Ningyocho and Kichijoji Hamanoke Yokocho. Kichijoji is an awesome, again, bar district, got a bit of a student town, that is cool. Shibuya Nonbe Yokocho, yeah, that's okay. Asakusa, I don't really like going to Asakusa, but I guess if you like that. Between Shimbashi and Yurakucho Station, I go there. I haven't been there for a while now, but that is an awesome going out area, so I definitely endorse that. Shinjuku Omoide Yokocho, I haven't actually been drinking there, if that's what I think it is. But Golden Guy, if that's what that is, and yeah, a lot of people talk about how good that is actually. It's a bit run down. Tsukishima Monja Street, yeah, I don't rate that highly, although I've worked there and I've had that before. There's Golden Guy. The other ones which aren't on here, which I mentioned, I mean, of course, there's the regular going out districts, which are Akasaka and Roppongi and places like that. I would also mention Nakameguro. Nakameguro is kind of going off at the moment, especially if you go there like in the cherry blossom season and so on. They've got lots of canals surrounded by cherry blossoms with lots of outdoor izakaya all around them. Hey, Shinzan man, good to see you. Good to have you along here. And someone talking about a hot body there, I totally missed the context of that, but they must have been talking about me. That would be right. But yeah, Nakameguro is another really good drinking place. And actually, Iidabashi has some pretty good places as well. I mean, you know, Tokyo's full of that stuff, but it's a pretty good list anyway. And if you're coming to Tokyo and you want to go out, that's a pretty good list. Dina81 is saying okonomiyaki, but actually no, it's funny if you talk about, well, so this is the dirty secret of Tsukishima, and it's why you can't really give it a high rating. It's Monja Street, so okonomiyaki is Osaka food, and monjayaki is the Tokyo equivalent. Okonomiyaki, as you all know, is like a fritter, basically, right? It's like it's a solidified kind of pancake type thing which you fry on a hot plate or whatever, and it's delicious. You can put anything in it that you like. The Tokyo version of that is called monjayaki, and it is basically the same thing, except it's runny. It's runnier than that. Because it's runnier, the sauce kind of cooks a little bit, and you get this kind of umami come out of it, and it tastes good, but it also burns your tongue and it's hard to eat compared to an okonomiyaki, which is why even Tokyo people, when they go to monjayaki, you always have to order a monjayaki first. But pretty much everyone I know switches over to okonomiyaki after ordering the mandatory monjayaki first. That's the thing. Okonomiyaki is better food. Raymundo Ultra, good to see you. And Shimo Kitazawa, you are actually absolutely right. Shimo Kitazawa is an awesome going out district again. Actually, Sangenjaya as well, now that I remember that. You just reminded me of that. Sally D, great to see you. Glad that you can make it. And not sure I'm enjoying that. Sinaju full. Monja is not nasty. It does actually taste nice, but it's awkward to eat, right? Okonomiyaki is easy. So, yes. By the way, you can go and see all the links for these articles are below. Of course, you can follow my Flipboard and follow all the articles, or just follow my Twitter, and I post all of these anyway, so you can catch that. I mentioned this in the show last week. It just came up just before the show. There was a Japanese article about it. There's an English coverage of this on Gizmodo about a drunk elderly man kicking a pepper, which I think Amanda Yum Yum Sesame correctly mentioned today is basically, like a talking iPad with arms. It's true. It is kind of hilarious that it was considered to have a bad attitude and was beaten up. Jugaoka, very, very good mention there by McNeil. That is correct. That is another good neighborhood. I mean, you can almost mention any neighborhood in Tokyo, couldn't you? But Jugaoka, Shimokitazawa are also very good going out districts indeed. So that was cool. This is, I understand this is now in the YouTube space, this device. This is a 360 degree 3D video. So it not only shoots in all directions, but it also shoots 3D in all directions. Which YouTube will soon be supporting, and this camera is available in the space, or it's going to be available for reservation soon. I'm not sure how you edit anything with it, but I'm going to go in just to use it. So that is kind of cool. I love how they have all these tools. Oh, and that reminds me, I've got to come back and talk about the Par-tay next year, because this is part of the idea that I have for next year. Par-tay. I'm just going to write a note on that so I don't forget. This thing costs $15,000 if you want to buy one, but you can just go to the space if you have. I think to actually be able to book a studio, you have to have above 5,000 subscribers. But I can book a space, and if you ever want to do a collaboration or anything in there, you can do that. Futako Tamagawa is good, but it's good more for by the river than the actual town, in my experience. You can actually have those barbecues outside and so on. Hey, Bradley Ford, good to see you, and you were in the video behind me. Very good to see you the other night. But yes, and that reminds me, I'm gonna go and right click, open new tab. Are you am I still getting you mixed up? Let me just check. Oh, you know what? You're a different guy to the guy that I saw at the party, who was Bradford from Bradford, but you're Bradley Ford. Man, it's so confusing. I'm gonna sub to you just so I don't get confused anymore. So I'm sub to you. Okay. So what else we got here? Anyway, that's going to be awesome, and I'm going to use it as soon as it becomes available for reservation. And yeah, maybe you guys can help me figure out a good use for it. We could do a collab in the space. I can book it. Yeah, and you know what? Actually, yeah, Futako Tamagawa is definitely as a place you can do like outdoor barbecues there. It's a great place to watch fireworks festivals. I've done some great outdoor parties. We used to get like generators and speakers, and I would like actually DJ trance music parties under the bridge there I've done 1 or 2 parties there, and it was awesome. I think it's now getting policed. The people who live nearby don't like it when people play loud trance music all night, but I've done some awesome parties by Futako Tamagawa by the river there, back in my days when I had hair and was slightly cooler. But what else we got here? Apparently, yes, for tourism in Japan now, Chinese tourists are now the #1 source of tourists for Japan. They make up 40% of all tourists coming to Japan. There were like 2.5 million of them last year. So it is funny, whenever they have a news story on NHK about tourists, they talk about, they always show Westerners, but they really shouldn't. They should be showing Chinese, which they very seldom show, but the Chinese are the ones carrying the whole show at the moment. Let me just go down here. Okay, so it's basically looking at revenue and stats based on tourism stats, but this might actually be on the English NHK page as well. But I thought that was interesting as well, just that the Chinese are taking over. Yes, we had a quake the other day. In fact, we were talking about this earlier. Temiko L, you mentioned this actually, the Shindo 4. Yeah, we had a Shindo 4, and that was I was expecting that would be all the quakes lately have been in northern Ibaraki, and these are all aftershakes or pre-quakes of the next mega quake. Which is all shifted down from Tohoku to northern Ibaraki, and that's where they've had these floods. So when we had this big quake the other day, I was worried this might be a quake in northern Ibaraki, which would be the last thing that they need with all the floods that they've been having. Hey Shubas, good to see you. Wow, you're very late, but yeah, you're fashionably late, Shubas. And welcome, bienvenidos in Panama. I don't know. We got a lot of Latin people here actually as well. Hey, that's right, Mikey Chen as well. So yes, anyway, the quake was in northern Ibaraki, which I was worried would be affecting the flood people, but you could tell it wasn't far away because it jolted right away. The quakes that are far away, they build up, they take some time, and it turned out it was a direct. The source of it was directly under Tokyo Bay, i.e. I wish I could actually show you a quick map of all the plates, but there's basically there are like. There's a Pacific Ocean plate, there's a Eurasian plate, and there's kind of a Philippine plate down to the south. But Tokyo is like this little detached thing sitting in the corner of 4 plates, and it sits on top of all of them. And Tokyo itself has its own megaquakes about once every 70 years. The Tokyo plate itself is basically from like south of Ibaraki to Shizuoka is a separate, is detached from all the other plates, and this is why Tokyo gets so many earthquakes. For a direct, so this is why when they talk about a Chokka quake, what they're saying is a direct Tokyo plate quake. You don't get them very often, but that was one that we had the other day, and that actually brought out earthquake people warning. Yeah, this is a good reminder to everybody to be prepared for a Tokyo megaquake, which we are currently about 10 years overdue for. So a good reminder of that. Hopefully it was not a precursor. We only had one aftershock that I felt, so I don't think it is, but it's another good reminder that Tokyo is due to get screwed. Oh, which reminds me as well, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government actually issued, I wish it was in here, I should have brought it in here. a yellow manual, the civil disaster manual, featuring the rhinoceros logo. Rhinoceros is called sai in Japan, and bosai means disaster prevention. So they've got this rhinoceros character called bosai, which my little lad loves. And it's a really, really good book, actually. I mean, they spent a lot of money on it, obviously, but that is the whole manual to surviving when Tokyo is destroyed, which will happen sometime. So yes, that was good to have, and it's another good warning the other day and this was an actual lower 5, so it was enough to do some reasonable damage out in Chofu, even though that was not over the epicenter. It's to do with, soil dynamics and all that sort of stuff, that it was actually not as strong closer to the epicenter than it was in Chofu City. Of course, we've had crazy floods this week. Japan has a bunch of rivers. They're all kind of cemented and supported by levees and so on, but one of those levees broke in northern Ibaraki, plus they just had an historic amount of rain, just a parked weather system. Everyone says global warming and stuff, and I'm sure that's all part of it, but this is a pretty heavy El Nino that we've got at the moment that's really messed up with all the weather patterns. We hardly got any rain during the rainy season, but we're getting like crazy rain during what should be a hot, dry summer. I prefer rain to the crazy heat we get in Tokyo, but obviously this is getting a little bit much. They had like an insane amount of rain during that time period, like world class, all over the same place. Apparently it was hitting Tokyo as well, but I was away. If you ever I guess most people here are aware of the crazy drain system that Tokyo has. A lot of documentaries on Tokyo feature it. They have like these 20-story high tunnels underneath Tokyo. Tokyo is actually originally like Venice. It's got a bunch of rivers that go all around it that used to be the highways that they were used for transport. Part of the reason Tokyo was built in Tokyo was because the number of rivers around Tokyo made transportation by barge and so on very easy around Tokyo. When Tokyo modernized, they filled in most of those rivers. They just reduced them to small little canals. They actually built like the C1 highway, the Yamanote line train lines. A lot of the train lines and highways are built over the old rivers which used to go around Tokyo, but Tokyo used to flood all the time. And they've solved that problem through just the craziest. Yes, I know that butter floats. Thank you for reminding me of that, James O'Hara. I can live without butter. I'm eating peanut butter. Peanuts are good. I can survive on peanut butter. I'm okay. So yeah, it's got a crazy drainage system that you won't get the sort of flooding in Tokyo, although this sort of rain would test it. But unfortunately it happened in Ibaraki, and it was a bit like Louisiana. They had a levee burst and the whole area behind the levee got flooded. It sounds like about 5 people have died, 20 people are missing or something like that. So yeah, pretty awful for the people living up there. Plus the other thing is that this also affected Fukushima, and they've got all of this, all the radioactive leaves and all the radioactive stuff which they kind of got up and they tied up in these kind of canvas bags, and they've been leaving them outside because they've had nowhere to store them all of this time, and now all those things have been washed away, and now they're scattered all over the place, all this radioactive stuff, and that's not good. That's not good. So yeah, it's been a pretty big inconvenience. This is interesting. I think I mentioned when this came out in Japanese, Kotaku's just covered how the government actually did a survey of, first of all, of onsens, asking about would you allow foreigners with tattoos to come to your onsens, kind of encouraging them to do that. But apparently someone, who was it, Nico Nico News, they actually did a survey of just regular Japanese people on how regular Japanese people feel about loosening the rules around onsen. And what was interesting is that while there is a chunk of the population that thinks fine, let them come, there is also a pretty firm majority, still over 60%, that thinks that even if they're not gang tattoos, even if they're foreigners, still ban them. Still ban them. It was a small survey. So here we go. 39.5% said it would be better if the restrictions were softened, while 60.5% answered that it would be better if these restrictions were not loosened. It is only one poll, of course, but it just goes to show that, when it comes to tattoos, yeah. Hey, American Fairy, nice to have you joining, and glad that you are addicted to peanut butter too. I'm addicted to peanut butter. Well, I used to be super addicted to peanut butter, particularly Kraft peanut butter, which I really, really like. I like that brand and that taste. Only problem was in 1996, there was a salmonella. Kraft peanut butter made in Australia had salmonella in it, and I got salmonella, and I was very, very sick for a week. And that made me not eat peanut butter for like 5 years. But now I'm back with the peanut butter we've made up, and I still eat Kraft as well. But yes. So it's interesting. Although there is a recognition And a lot of foreigners still have an expectation, yeah, Japanese society is advancing and so on. But this is the thing, so Lysander 45, like you say, it wasn't, well, it was a random sample. It was actually all people in 20s and 30s, no old people, and yet it was still over 60% of people were against it. So I know a lot of people expect that the Japanese society must be changing and young people must be loosening up, and this must just be all the olds ruining it for everyone and all that sort of stuff. Hey, Akumetsu therefore, that's a username I don't recognize, good to have you along. It's actually not. It's actually right through the society, and so you can't get too relaxed about the idea that it's getting better just based on, you know, hey, I've got tattoos, it'll be fine, it's getting better. It's not necessarily. I think there's a lot of pressures to make it easier at the moment. But Wikipedia, great to see all of the endorsements of peanut butter there. Hey, Tana Tundra 47, good to see you. It's good for me, peanut butter, if that's what we're talking about. So I'm all up for relaxing the tattoo rules, but just as an indication here, it's going to take a long time to change, and it's not just young people who are wholesale going to drive it, because even young people are kind of against it, and it's because it has the issues with tattoos go deeper than just appearance here. 2020 is going to make it really interesting with the hey, Craig Hand, good to see you, good morning to you where you are in Germany, I wonder. So yeah, 2020 is going to bring it to a head, because it's going to have so many tattooed foreign tourists here that something's going to have to be done about it, and maybe it will change the societal attitudes in that 4-year time space that we have left. But yeah, I don't think that we are going to get. Oh, you know what? I'm having Skippy lately, American Fairy, now that you mention it. I'm sorry, I'm talking about tattoos and peanut butter at the same time. Maybe that's what I should get. I should get it. My first tattoo could be a peanut butter tattoo. Why not? But yes, anyway, don't take it for granted that this sort of thing is changing. Expect trouble. If you're coming in with tattoos, you should expect to have to cover them up to get into onsen, and maybe not be able to get in sometimes, or sports gyms, or a bunch of other stuff. Although the pressures are there, that is changing, and that is a good thing. The one good thing about the new iPhone 6s, the current iPhone 6 in Japan is not unlockable. It can't be made SIM-free, but the iPhone 6s will be unlockable. Although for most of the companies, they've all got the same rule. NTT, KDDI, and SoftBank, probably when they announce it, you'll have to own it for 6 months before. It's not morning in Germany. It must be America then. Okay. I'm not on Adderall. I'm just a New Zealander with a fast voice. I'm not. Oh yeah, which reminds me, the drugs that I'm on. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So anyway, it's not unlocked. You can't buy it unlocked. But I want to get an unlocked phone, because when I go overseas, I want to be able to use a SIM when I'm traveling overseas. But you can't do that with Japanese phones, and it drives me crazy. And that's why I got this, a Redmi 2A. It's a nice phone, but I can't use Google Apps on it because it's a Chinese phone. I took this to Malaysia. I took this to the Xiaomi shop in Malaysia, in Imbi, in the Sawyat Plaza. And I went to the official shop, and they said, hey, we'll install the Malaysian OS so that you can use all Google Apps on it. And I did it, and they gave it back to me a couple of minutes later, and they said, can't do it. It's totally locked even to the hardware, that you cannot change the operating system. So I kind of got screwed with this, but it does have dual SIM free, so I can travel with this and use this as a travel phone, and you can tether with this, so I can use my iPhone with it. But unfortunately, I can't do that with my current iPhone. But if I wait for the 6S, and I set up with a contract that in 6 months of staying with the company, you'll be able to get an unlocked phone, and that's kind of cool. So I'm going to wait for the iPhone 7 anyway. I've got an unlocked phone for now, but that will be much better for traveling and doing all that sort of stuff. The most dangerous neighborhood in Tokyo, I was just talking about this before, natural disaster risk. The most dangerous neighborhood in Tokyo is Kyojima, which I understand is in Sumida, but it's basically in the ghetto. It's in Shitamachi, and it's not dangerous because of crime, although it is a lower income neighborhood. It has those kind of connotations. But you can actually get these disaster maps of Tokyo, which show the risk of earthquake, building collapse, earthquake soil stability, fire risk, flood risk, every kind of natural disaster risk. And this is the one which has the highest conflation of all of those risks. It's kind of a cool article, and I didn't know about the specific neighborhood, but it's probably because no one would want to live there. Netflix is here. It's here in Japan now. I'm thinking about signing up for it because I want to see Better Call Saul. But apparently the demand is kind of tepid because, the American shows are mostly not known here at the moment. I kind of want to watch them. I'm a little bit scared that binge watching will make me lose parts of my life. The Sony A7S II 4K mirrorless camera. What this does, there's actually I put this link on because there's a video showing its low light video performance, which is crazy. Did I say 2010? I think I said 2020. Well, I meant to say 2020. The low light performance of this camera is insane. The only downside I'm seeing from the reviews, and it's a pretty serious downside, is that the battery in it does not last more than like 30 minutes, which is a problem if you're shooting. You have to buy a lot of spare batteries, I guess. But the performance on it is insane. It is a $3,000 camera. You know, I've never spent more than $1,000 on a camera, but what it does is kind of crazy, and it is enough to make me really think about changing camera at some point. But that is cool. Oh yeah, and this is like the funniest one. So there's a story, apparently there's a story here in Japanese. So, you know, a convenience store robber walks into a Lawson somewhere in, where is it? Ikebukuro, near Ikebukuro station actually, and the attendant in the shop is a Nepalese immigrant, and the guy says, so he walks in, 175 centimeter guy, and basically he walks in and says, "Take all the money out of the register," to the guy, and the guy responds, "Why?" And the robber responds, "Because I don't have any money." Apparently the situation is that the Nepalese guy did not fully understand what was going on. It's featured here in English as well, but basically the Japanese comments reacting to this are kind of hilarious. That's kind of funny. Why is that not loading the full original? Here we go. So warota is kind of a slang for for laughing out loud. So lots of people found that very funny. People found it funny that the foreign attendant was able to kind of befuddle the robber by asking him why he was robbing him, although at the same time they also expressed concern that someone who was not able to understand that they were being robbed was serving customers, and what else he might not understand, which was a bit harsh. But yes, they've got Nepaljin GJ, good job. So everyone is thoroughly entertained by the story about this Injana. Isn't that good? But yes, the fact that they actually engaged in an explanation back. So yes. Anyway, there's a lot of comments reacting to that, but that was just a little funny crime episode. That doesn't happen very often, but it does happen, of course. So that is cool. There's this is an awesome video from the party where he actually interviewed everyone, asked them what their favorite YouTuber was, and I discovered a lot of pretty cool channels from that. There's one of the bags of the radioactive stuff that got washed away from Fukushima, just the surrounding areas. Doesn't look good, does it? That's everywhere. That's Itate village near Fukushima, and that should not be there like that. That should have been put in a disposal facility months ago, but no one wants to house it. So that is a problem with that. Time is up. I mean, wow, I thought I wouldn't get through an hour, but that is all the topics. Party, I was going to mention party, so I got some music I can play for an outro, but now I'll talk about, so the party next year. I was talking with the awesome brains at go check out my Argonaut video after this. The brains at YouTube, who have really been kind of upping the salesy stuff, and he's kind of saying to me, why do people pay for a YouTube party? Surely you could just invite MCNs, camera makers and so on, and get people to sponsor it, and you could do it like bigger and more awesome. And while I was talking with him and so on, and he was kind of saying he could help me out. There is an advantage of doing it non-official. If you do it official, you do it in the space, you have all these releases, you have all these problems with, restrictions on what you can shoot, everything has to be approved and so on. It's not the way that we would want to do a party. It's better to keep it unofficial, but you can do it unofficial, I think, and still have some YouTube participation, and have sponsor participation, which is what he's very good at, getting stuff that YouTube is supporting at the moment. So I brainstormed with him, and I'll continue to brainstorm with him. I think next year we are going to be ready for taking the YouTube gathering to the next level, to get like a big hall, and to get like, make it, why not just make it bigger, but actually get like some sponsorship involved, and make it like a serious thing. And I know that Phoenix would like to get involved with that as well, but yeah, it's a really good idea, and I was brainstorming it with him. I'm going to flesh that out, but that is kind of cool, and I think that is something that can happen. So I'm going to work on that, and yeah, I've got a track which I actually uploaded yesterday, and it was kind of nice, which I've got all hooked up to the machines, but there again, the hour is up, and I think I'm just going to leave it as is for tonight. Go and check out my my track on SoundCloud, Cloudy Bells, I think, Cloudy Bells. I did it because I was on an airplane. I was trying to think of a title. I looked out the window and there were clouds, and it's kind of ambient-y, mellowy. It's good for video background music. I have to put a bunch of loops up. I haven't put loops up for my recent tracks, but I'm going to do that. Oh, by the way, congrats to everyone who got a shirt at the party this year, and all won prizes of some sort. But anyway, I'm gonna sign off. Very good to have you all back. Oh, my drugs. That's right. Someone was asking about my drugs with security chip. So yes, when I was in Malaysia, I just had a constant runny nose, and I needed some antihistamines or something just to stop my nose. So the lady there, I went to I was in the Sheraton in KL, and I asked, is there a doctor nearby? And they said there's a clinic inside the hotel. So I go there. There's just one lady there, sitting behind the counter, but she's doing everything. She's being the doctor, the pharmacist, and the receptionist because she's got no backup. And she's this really cool kind of Chinese lady, kind of laid back, kind of, young Chinese lady, and she says, yeah, just come around the back, and says, yeah, what you got, runny nose and stuff. Okay, I'm going to give you this one. This one will keep you awake during the day, and it'll dry you up. But if you really want to fix it, I'll give you this one. And she gave me this other one. What is this called? This is crazy. This is like Allersin F tablet. She gave me this, and she said, just take one of these at night. And she said, last time I took one of these at night, I was so groggy I could not walk entire next day. And I thought she was joking, but it was true. I took one of these for the plane. I took one of these yesterday, and I was day before yesterday, and I was completely incapacitated yesterday. I had no more runny nose. I just couldn't walk or stand up anymore. That was insane. Brasco, you were asking about my DJ labels. I should do a video on that sometimes. I should just go get my records and show. Actually, that would be a really good video. So anyway, I'm not sure that she was a medical doctor, but she gave me some effective medication, which has me now able to do the show with you. So thanks to her for that. I will come back, Brasco Fair, and remind me about the labels thing. I'll do a video on that one day. I've got tons of labels, but mostly British drum and bass labels. Yes, there's so many channels here. I'm going to keep this open so I can go subscribe to all you guys in the comments. Like, I haven't subscribed to American Fairy. How can I don't subscribe? Just subscribe to American Fairy. There you go. So I'm going to go make sure I subscribe to all you guys, all you new channels out there. And yeah, anyway, thanks for joining. Awesome to have you along. Join me next week. Thank you for joining me for my 500th video. Check out my music, check out my Twitter, do all that good stuff, and see you again soon. And check out on Tuesday the next episode of Ace YouTuber versus Ace Producer versus Geek YouTuber, because it is a good one. It's coming up Tuesday morning. Check that out. See you later. Peace. Boom. Turning it off now. That FPS is lagging, is it? US house. Okay, US house is cool. That's kind of, in Japan everyone does house, so I was always into beats, break beats, and drum and bass and all that stuff. Good to see all you guys. And peace. Boom. Stop.